Althorp, the magnificent Northamptonshire seat of Earl Spencer, has been the residence of its proprietors from the olden time, as Baker says in his history of the county. The simplicity of its exterior is fully compensated by the attractions within. Its magnificent library is one of the wonders of England, and its superb collection of paintings another. Since Althorp has been in possession of the Spencers, it has been honoured by 2 royal visits. The first was paid by the Queen and the elder son of James I, and the second by William III in 1695, when a large gathering of the nobility and gentry of the county took place in honour of the event. That a residence of the antiquity and importance of Althorp should have a ghost is nothing unusual. If indeed it had several, it need not be a matter of wonder, as such things go. The apparition which is connected with Earl Spencer's palatial dwelling, however, is not of the character one generally finds connected with places of that rank, nor are we aware that it habitually haunts the place, but it is so remarkable an instance of ghost-seeing, related to us on such good authority, that it is well worth recording here. Mr., afterwards Archdeacon Drury, was invited by Lord and Lady Littleton to accompany them on a visit to Earl Spencer, the lady's father, then at Althorp. After dinner, Mr. Drury and Lord Littleton amused themselves with billiards, and continued so late at their game that at last one of the servants went to them to request that when they went to bed they would extinguish the lights themselves. He asked them to be very careful in doing so, as Lord Spencer was always uneasy about fire. Looking at their watches, they were amazed to find that it was past 2, and both of them went to bed without further delay. Mr. Drury was awakened from his slumbers by the reflection of a light falling on his face. Opening his eyes, he beheld at the foot of his bed a man dressed as a stableman, in striped shirt and flat cap, and carrying a lantern with the bull's eye turned full upon the disturbed sleeper. "What do you want, my man? Is the house on fire?" exclaimed Mr. Drury, but he received no reply, his visitor remaining silent and immovable. "What do you mean by coming into a gentleman's room in the middle of the night? What business have you here?" he demanded, but, unable to elicit any response, became rather more imperious in his remarks, bidding the fellow be gone as an impudent scoundrel whose conduct should be reported to his master. The figure then slowly lowered the lantern and passed into the dressing-room, from which there was no other means of exit than that by which he had entered. "You won't be able to get out that way," Mr. Drury called out, and then, overcome by drowsiness, he dropped off to sleep again, without even waiting to see the result. Next morning, Mr. Drury remarked to Lady Littleton that it was a very odd thing, but a stableman had walked into his room in the middle of the night, and would not go away for some long time, adding, "I suppose the man was drunk, but he did not look so," and he then proceeded to describe his dress and general appearance. Lady Littleton turned pale. "You have described," she said, "my father's favourite groom, who died a fortnight ago, and whose duty it was to go round the house after everyone had gone to bed to see that the lights were extinguished, and with strict orders to enter any room where one was seen burning. Mr. Drury's feelings may be imagined, and that he never slept in that room again alone will readily be assumed. Whether he, or anyone else at Althorp, ever beheld the apparition of the dead groom again is another matter, about which we are unable to furnish any information.